Welcome back, friends. In the last session, we discussed about the REST APIs, how to test the REST APIs through graphical user interface and through the Postman. So, in this session, we continuing of that API testing as well as we discuss about the API security while testing the APIs, right? So when a human being want to interact with the API, the human being opens the API. In this example, I'm explaining with the student API. So when we want to add the new student, he opens the API page and there is an option to enter the details of the student and add student. When we add student, this button, underground this button, there is a API call. That API call is actually calling the post method in the API. So when we add a new student, the when we submit the student, the post method is called. When we want to retrieve the students from the backend to display the students on the UI page, the get is called. When you want to modify any student data, we passing the student ID, the put method is called, and we want to delete, the delete method is called. So the buttons behind the user interface, these calls, API calls are configured, right? So when you want that API testing through the Postman, Postman is one of the API testing tool. There are numerous other tools are available. In that case, you need to select the method, which method you want to execute, and you need to call the URL accordingly. If you want to delete the student, I am passing the student ID over here. So this will call the on the back end, it calls the delete operation, and in the processing logic, the developers wrote the logic of the delete, so that will go and delete the student from the backend, right? So in this session, I want to demonstrate how we can create or delete or modify the student. The same point, like I said, we want to discuss about the API security also. So here, actually, these are some people I don't want to give the privilege to delete the student or to privilege to modify the student, right? Only I want the people to retrieve the students and see the data of the students. That's it. I don't want to give the entire access to some people. And for some people like admin, I want to give the full access, right? So for that, when we are doing a call, I want to when we're doing API call, I want the send some kind of API key, right? API key. In this example, I created two API keys. One API key is the full access, and other API key is the read-only access. So while I am calling the API, whatever the key you passed as part of the API call, you can get that access. For example, I'm passing the read-only access key. I'm trying to delete the student. I will get the error that this key doesn't has the permission to delete the student, right? So based on the key, we can authorize the API authorized operation. If I use the full access key, you can do anything, right? So that also I'm going to demonstrate. So in the description, I given the entire steps to replicate what I'm doing over here. So go to the description and you can get the UI and the Postman and work test accordingly. Let me open the UI. So what I did is actually, let me explain from the start onwards. I give the entire folder. So you need to copy that folder in your local. So that folder is this one actually. That the folder is secure student. Let me find that one sec. secure student API. This is the folder I'm going to give in my drive. Get the student, copy this folder from my drive, and we need to open the command prompt and terminal at this point. And when you are in this path, just execute the command called. Let me check. Is already running. Yeah, this already. Let me close this earlier one. Close this one. So need to run the command called npm space start. So when you run this command, the backend server will be started, and now you can able to see the entire stuff, right? And I also given one HTML page in this student, and open that index1.html page. Now this is the actual URL, actual page. Now what I can do is I want to add the new student, right? To add the new student, I need the full access key. So I'm select the full access key in the API key, and I'm adding the student name, some Ramu. I'm selected date of birth. I think I will increase the font size. This maybe you might I'm not able to. It's too much. Let me decrease a little bit. Yeah, this is comfortable. Now, Ramu, I'm selecting date of birth is like was something date of birth. Add student. So the student got added, right? Now I'm opening the Postman. Postman. I want to get the students. I'm selecting the get method, and this is the URL to get the students. So if I send enter, I got the student, right? I got the student. Now in the header, I'm passing the access key. This is the X-API-key. So you're passing the full access key, right? In case you are not passing any access key, you got the error. Please provide access key. Access key is required, right? So when I'm passing the access key, I'm able to retrieve. This is the student I'm added to the UI, right? So I want to add one more student through the backend, through the Postman. So copy this student, this JSON, and select the method as a post method, and go to body, and they select JSON and copy like this. Okay. So roll number is not required, and the created date is not required. We need to pass only, and I am passing the name as Somo instead of Pramo. Send it. So something called this JSON is not proper. This comma is causing error. I'm deleting. I'm sending once again. Student created successfully. STU, this is student number. I'm coming back to UI, and I'm refreshing. Let's see the student got added or not. The SOMO got, you can able to see the SOMO, right? So now I want to change the name of the SOMO to some other name. One sec. And here I'm SOMO to Anand. Update student. Student updated successfully, and Anand got printed over here, right? So what happens is in the update on the back end, the put method is invoked actually, right? So here the primary takeaway is, for example, I'm selecting the not full access key, read only access key, and I want to edit. While editing, edit is kind of updating. So I'm updating the Anand to Anand Kumar. I'm using the read-only access key, right? Update student. When update student got an invalid API key, there is not sufficient permissions or not there, right? If you one second, like you can see here, invalid API key or insufficient permissions. So this is a way you can authorize your API calls, right? So API key is a concept like it will authenticate as well as authorize. Depends upon the API key, it will allow you to execute that specific operation or not. Is also kind of API security. So friends, I am providing the entire the folder over here, this folder in the my drive and giving access to that drive in the YouTube description. Download that entire drive and go to that drive and run this command npm start so that the backend server will be started and you can able to see the GUI and open the index page, go there and the index1.html page, you can able to see the web page, right? And you can test with this key and like that. The same way, go to Postman. Now in the down, you can able to see all the REST endpoints given. What is the post created, post endpoint, get endpoint, and post with get with specific student endpoint, update, delete. So go to the Postman and try to use these methods. And for example, you want to get a specific student, right? So I go to the Postman. I go to Postman and here I will put this one and I want this get call, so using get, and even I'm using the not full access key also not required, even with the read access key only I will get. I'm testing that one, and the read only key, copy the read only key and go to the Postman and copy that one and you can send it. You able to get that Anand, right? Ramu, and so this is one, okay. One is Ramu, two, I'll get Anand like this, right? Okay. So if I use a different key, okay, read only I will get. If I, yeah, read only and full access key also it is okay, right? But when you change, you do not require. For suppose when change the put and it will complain invalid access denied, right? So this is the way you can get idea on the APIs. So guys, I didn't explain about how to develop an API, how to deploy API. In this session I focused on how to get about idea about API security, how to test your APIs, right? And what is an API? API is like I told multiple times the same example. API is a guy like waiter. This is a waiter. This is a hotel, like is wait in the hotel, right? He will take your request, and this the GUI or app. These are kind of the customers in the hotel taking food, and they will order the food, and waiter take that order and go to backend, and backend gives that order to backend server. Backend server actually execute that order and stored the actually information in the data store. This entire architecture is kind of REST API we call as. Now we need to have idea about how what is an API, how to call the API using the graphical user interface and the Postman. So see you in the next session.